Good afternoon, everyone. This is our STS-129 Atlantis Astronaut Post-Landing Press Conference. And here with us to start our event is Commander Charlie Hobaugh. Charlie?
Good afternoon. We obviously just got back from what I consider an incredible mission, not only from what we set out to do and accomplish, but what the whole team in general, from the people that process the vehicle, the people that design the mission, the program objectives that are laid out, the solid rocket boosters being refilled and set to go, the external tank, everything performed extremely well. The vehicle didn't have any faults or failures really to speak of. The International Space Station is an incredible place, and we couldn't be more thrilled than we were when we were not only at launch but all the way to landing and wheel stop. It was just nonstop fun, nonstop action. We tried to have our game face on at all time, and that meant game face for work and game face for play. It seemed like the fun never stopped, whether it was work or taking a break to either look out the window or have a little enjoyment with not only the crew of our shuttle, but also the long duration expedition that was up there. They were like long lost friends, just seamless from us getting there to working with them. So it was an incredible time. I'd like to briefly introduce my crew, and starting to my left is Barry Wilmore, Captain of the Navy. Butch, as he's called. Eugene, depending on if he's in trouble or not, maybe. Just an incredible guy. You know, he from the time we hit main engine cutoff and hit 0G, I don't think the smile on his face ever went off. So he took to space like he'd been there his whole life. It was awesome. To his left, Leland Melvin. I won't tell you his call sign, but he doesn't like it. Leland was on his second flight. He was a robotics extraordinaire. Just flew the inspections, orchestrated a lot of the station arm operations, and did an incredible job. He also did the unenviable task of transfer, which is a real challenging thing to do. It seems easy when you're just saying, hey, I move this stuff here, move that stuff there, but the accounting is very tedious. Everything has to be done perfectly, and Leland did a great job of that. And I got to tell you, I'm glad I didn't have that job. To his left, Mike Foreman, another second-time flyer. Interesting thing about all of us, all the former military or military guys, Mike's Navy captain, retired. Butch is captain. Randy Bresnick and I are both Marines. Four of us were test pilot school instructors, and Brent Jett, who's our chief of flight crew ops, basically said, hey, you guys couldn't screw this up. You had 4 test pilots. I hope you could pull this mission off. So, Mike was our lead spacewalker. I think he's in the top 20 now for time in spacewalks, and he was the mentor to Randy and Bobby, and did an incredible job of that. Really led that part from the crew perspective very well, and of course with the backing of a very awesome EVA team. And to his left is Bobby Satcher. Bobby's probably, I have the position of having probably the least education anybody on the flight, and Bobby's probably the most educated guy on the flight. PhD and MD, orthopedic surgeon background, and whenever I have an ache or pain, I always go to Bobby. You know, set me straight. Hey, Bobby, is there anything you can do about this? He usually says, no, you're just getting old and decrepit. So it's part of the aging process. But Bobby was one of our spacewalkers. He did the first and third spacewalks, and he did a lot of science on board in addition to the spacewalks. Bobby's probably one of the most unflappable person I've ever met. I think they said when he went out on his spacewalk, he had enough consumables to last 12 hours. His heart rate never got up, and he was just a calm, cool customer the whole time. Pretty incredible for a first-time spacewalker. And Bobby was an incredible performer the whole flight. Randy Bresnick, who's not here with us, as you probably know, has already gone home or is on his way home to get to meet his little baby girl for the first time. And so he did not feel like coming to the press conference. So with that, I guess we can take questions.
All right. We'll start here in the front with Marcia.
Marcia Dunn, Associated Press. About Randy, how soon after the walk-around did he jump on a jet and leave? I mean, did he fly home himself, or how was all that orchestrated?
We have aircraft that bring people in and out, for this case to support the landing, and we just tried to accommodate the departure so that he could make it on that flight, which worked out extremely well. The shuttle training aircraft that does the dives to prepare us for landing and make sure that the winds are good, the weather's good, the workload is reasonable, can do that kind of thing. And so that was not really a major issue. It was all coordinated and thought out ahead of time to, if he couldn't do that or do anything like leave early, that he would just come home with the crew. And it just was lucky for him that it was able to be coordinated that way. A lot of people thought it out pretty well.
He actually went home on the STA.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And Nicole, I don't know who was sitting down in the middeck with her. How was her reentry?
Nicole is doing awesome. She is, one thing, Randy didn't leave right away. We have some tests that we like to do. You participate in voluntarily to help out science, and not only are we go up there as operators, but we go up there also to be able to help with any kind of health and medical, and really what our aim is with the tests that we're conducting for some of us is to actually look at the impacts of space flight on long duration and what you're physically capable of doing immediately after, for example, a reentry into another planet or a moon or a Mars type environment, how well you can function, perform tasks, and that sort of thing. So, we don't give up on any of that stuff to just make it easy on somebody. We sign up for that, we abide by that. We want to help out that science part, and then after all that's done, if it works out, you can go, you go.
So I'm sorry, so you were talking about Randy there? Or Nicole? Randy. Okay, Randy went through his... Yeah, and how's Nicole doing?
Nicole is doing awesome. Yeah, I'm sorry. Nicole has, she's with her family having a turkey dinner like the rest of us just did to come back. Oh, yeah.
Then you all just had a turkey dinner. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. You go see the duck, you get a turkey dinner. It's a Benny. So
Great.
yeah.
All the trimmings.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Everything.
Okay.
If we pass out, it's probably from the effects of the tryptophan from the turkey. I apologize. We call it the intense lights. I don't know.
Nicole was down on the middeck with Bobby and I. Bobby and I at wheel stop. We got up, started taking our suits off, and Nicole said, "Hey, can I get out of my suit?" And we kept telling her, "No, you stay there." She was ready to pop up and start moving around, and we were trying to keep her down because we didn't want to be responsible for what might happen if the doctors saw that we had let her out of her seat early. So, but she was raring to go.
James?
Hi, welcome back. James Dean, Florida today. Just speaking of that turkey again, you surprised us a little floating a few items in front of the camera on Thanksgiving there. Did you actually get something on orbit there? Did you take it from the station? Did you have a stash? How did you spend your Thanksgiving dinner?
Somebody else answer that question.
I did. We didn't have a scheduled meal since we had slipped into this holiday, and so early in the mission I had smoked turkey on my menu, so I kind of stashed that away. And yesterday I had smoked turkey, mashed potatoes, corn, and cranapple dessert. So it was kind of like a mini Thanksgiving up there for me yesterday, at least.
Great. With everything going so well, I figured one thing, if you had to pick out one thing that wasn't perfect and that you might not have been training for, was those alarms that went off the first couple of nights. I was wondering if maybe, especially for the first time guys, if you could describe what that was like. I imagine, might have been a little frightening at first, and just what that experience was like and how you kind of worked through that, especially So I can't remember if it was Mike or Bobby who had to go out on the spacewalk the next morning. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, it was Mike that went out on the spacewalk. I was actually over on station, though, when the alarm went off. I truthfully did not find it to be all that frightening because we kind of trained so much with emergencies on station and the types of alarms that you get. So the station crew responded very well, very professionally to it, and the communication was very good. And Scorch was over, out of the shuttle before you could bat your eyelash, basically. And so, it really didn't. I wouldn't say it frightened me at all. And really, the impact that it had, I thought, was something that we had, prepared for, getting ready to do an exercise pre-breathe for the spacewalk the next day, and that actually went very well also.
So was it something that, if you were on the shuttle side, that you noticed just as much, or was it more of something that just affected the station crew?
Well, it's the way the system's set up is when we're docked, anything that occurs on station we'll hear over on the shuttle side. It's more of a generic type of warning. So we enunciate on board. I heard that we hear the tones go off. So I think it was like an hour or 2 hours into sleep. I don't remember. I think I was asleep at the time anyhow. So we just floated over there and see what happens. And typically there's usually not anything that's seriously wrong. A lot of times it's a false alarm, and you don't react to them any differently. You just, to be conservative, you treat everyone like it's the real deal. But it's not like it was a major event. It was more just a coordination to get everybody all on the same sheet of music, and then decide what the best course action for their to go on from there is. And for the EVA, it was couldn't have been scripted any better for something we've done in training. We played this a similar event in our flow, and so we had a close, easy answer right on the tip of our tongues, and the control team in Mission Control was very quick with the answer that we were hoping for, and we were it's like we were all on the same sheet of music without really having to say much. So it was very seamless. It was very easy to transition, and like I said, it's a integrated team, not only just with us on board, but also on the ground. And the station crew to shuttle crew, there's no difference. It's all one team, and it went very well.
Bobby or Butch, I'm just wondering how you guys are feeling after your first experience in zero-G. And Bobby, you had that added medical perspective, and additionally, you've already said that the whole experience kind of exceeded all your expectations. But if you could just pick out something, one memory that might stand out among the rest.
You want to go first, Butch, or you want me to go?
Sure. I feel great. I have noticed that many of the buildings here are on a little bit of a teeter-totter that I didn't know before. But other than that, I feel good. I mean, there's a little bit neurovestibular that, readjusting to G, and I think that's common for most people. And personally, I feel fine right now. I probably won't do any backflips here, but maybe later we'll do a few. One memory was right on launch. As you know, the shuttle launches initially heads down, and there's no program that says you're going to go roll right or left. The vehicle just decides which way it's going to roll, and it rolls. So we're heads down, and fortunately for me, it rolled my way where I could look at the ground.
Unfortunately for me.
Exactly. So it rolled my way. I got to see the ground, and looking up the East Coast was just beautiful. Beyond words. I can't describe it. To see the blue of the sky between the earth and the blackness of space was just gorgeous. I wish I could describe it for you. And that's the first really view I had of the earth, and that's the one that stuck the most so far.
Yeah, I feel great also. I think it's the most interesting part of coming back has not only been the neurovestibular stuff, but also just feeling gravity again, and watching that slowly come in as we were coming back for reentry, and then getting on the ground, and your arms and legs feel heavier, heavier than you remembered them from prior to the space launch, or prior to the launch. So that to me was very interesting. And then the memory that I have that will always stick with me, I guess, would be when I was on one of the spacewalks, and we actually flew over Houston, and I happened to be in a spot where I was kind of right on the edge of the structure, so I just had this panoramic, spectacular view of what was beneath us, and could see all of Houston and the Gulf Coast. So that was fantastic.
You said that you saw similarities in your OR work and spacewalking. Do you attribute that to feeling as cool and calm as apparently it worked out on your spacewalk?
It's tough for me to answer that. I think it probably is part of my personality, but yeah, I think there's probably something subconsciously there where I was sort of making that connection between being in the operating room and going out and doing a spacewalk.
So not every operation goes as planned either. I mean, sometimes there's a little glitch. You got to think on your feet and figure out how to solve it. You did a great job.
Yeah, we also have good mentors in the operating room too. Mike Foreman was great. So.
Well, we had a big team of people that were helping us out.
Marcia Dunn, AP again for Mike Foreman. I want to know if you shared your smoked turkey yesterday with your crew.
I offered it. I offered it. I
He gave me some.
Oh, you did?
I actually had 2 of them, over the course of the first 9 or so days, and I gave one to Bobby, and in the days prior, and I'm not sure if he ate it or not, but I was definitely willing to share. So,
But yesterday you were the only one who ate turkey.
well, I'm not sure of that, but
Oh, okay. Well,
couldn't be true. Yeah, right.
I had it that morning, but not for dinner.
oh, you had morning
I had
turkey.
morning turkey.
So this was just like saved from the previous. Did you get any from the station? Like there was some speculation yesterday.
We had a great meal on station, but it was not Thanksgiving. It was a
Okay.
few days prior, and they shared a lot of their European and Russian food with us. That was a great meal. But, yeah.
And did Randy have the turkey dinner today before he hightailed it out of here, or did he
He
leave
got
before?
something to eat before he left.
He did get to.
Yes, ma'am. We didn't make him starve.
All right, James, you got one more?
Just has one more. I know you're just barely back on the ground, but at what point will any of you guys start to think about what's next for you? Whether this could be your last space flight, what your next role in the program will be with only 5 more to go.
He was looking right at you, Scorch.
No. I got to tell you, I was feeling a little down before launch because the thing I was thinking is, it's this has just been an incredible crew that I've been able to be associated with, been able to be a part of, and even though launch and the missions, the culmination of it all, and it's an incredible experience. The 9 months that you spend together in training is really the thing you remember and treasure the most. The flight is over in the blink of an eye. We were at flight day 9 and thinking, what happened? How did it go so fast? Yet, the time we spend together as a crew in training, even though it's mostly just weekdays, and we try to socialize and do things together as families and try to get to know one another, has just been an incredible experience. And that's truly the thing that I remember, or will remember, about this crew. And that's kind of why I was, launch is incredible, mission's incredible, but coming up to it's kind of a signal of the end is coming for this crew. And I am looking forward to the next vehicle. I'm looking forward to potentially doing a long duration mission and having another similar experience. But I know for a fact that this was a great experience, and these were a great group of individuals I got to work with.
All right, no further questions. Nicole Stott will have some comments. She was interviewed just a few minutes ago over at the crew quarters, and that is being edited right now and will be on NASA TV very shortly. And for this event, that will conclude the press conference. Thank you.